give everybody the answers.
All right, ready. Here goes.
Are you ready, kids?
Aye, aye, Captain!
I can hear you.
Aye, aye, Captain!
Oh, who lives in a pineapple under the sea? A servant in yellow and chorus is he. Another one nonsense be something you wish. Just drop on the deck and run like a fish. Hey, SpongeBob SquarePants, SpongeBob SquarePants, SpongeBob SquarePants, SpongeBob SquarePants. All right, Wapaka Middle School, we have week 11 of our student and staff of the week. We are going to kick it off right away with the Related Arts team. Related Arts has chosen a student that is very kind and inclusive to other students, a well-rounded human being, and always very helpful and respectful. This week's Student of the Week for Related Arts is Ethan Krager. Congratulations to Ethan. Our next Student of the Week is from the 6th grade. Attention Comet Cheese Pizza fans. The Student of the Week for the last week of February takes pride in being a Comet and does their part to keep the school safe for everyone. This guy leads his hockey team in apples and leads the 6th grade in assists when his classmates need a hand. Please whoop it up for this week's Student of the Week.
Cooper, you got a question?
Mr. Ollie Waller. Congratulations to Ollie. Our 5th grade Student of the Week. This student has stepped up their game to the next level, rising to the top of the Wapaka Way standings. His skills include quiet leadership, focus, and being prepared. This student always raises the level of others around him through teamwork, listening, and showing his best effort at all times. The 5th grade is proud to recognize JJ Peterson. Good job, JJ. Our 8th grade Student of the Week. The student that the 8th grade staff has picked this week is someone who puts in the work to set herself up for future success. She is always super kind, polite, cheery, and positive. Clearly, she is a very hard worker. 8th grade Student of the Week is Elena Beekman. Congratulations to Elena. Our 7th grade Student of the Week. 7th grade teaching team can't help but notice what a strong worker this student is. Whether an assignment is on paper or virtual, this student consistently applies everything that has been learned, exceeding expectations in all core classes. Above all, she is kind and respectful, and she has a radiant smile. This week's 7th grade Student of the Week is Aslan Schwartberger. Congratulations, Aslan. I spelled your name right on the first try. I didn't even have to look it up. All right, and our staff of the week. We finally got some new nominations in this week. Keep them coming. This staff member of the week had a lot of things, nice things said about them. I could not fit them all on here. I got as many as I could. With all of the 8th grade coming back, she has adjusted to a full classroom of kids that love to talk. She always has a smile on her face, even if we can't see it. She always is willing to help others with school. This teacher is easily the greatest and coolest core teacher ever. She has helped so many people understand concepts and offers advanced math for people who like a challenge. She is a POG champ. She has been a great teacher. She is always helpful and is one of my favorite teachers I have had throughout school. She is also a great help and an extremely fun person who is always ready to teach. Another student said, I am choosing this teacher because she helps me out in math class whenever I need it. She is also enjoyable to be around and fun to have and makes learning fun. Next student said, I chose this person because she is supportive in every way, and you can email her and she will respond within a few minutes saying, how may I help you? She is very good at what she does and doesn't mess around when it is work time. She is able to keep the room nice and quiet so students can work and get things done. And the last student that I put on here, she is always such an enthusiastic teacher and talks to her student to help us understand. Understand is what it should be. So here is my attempt at a unique math drum roll. It's kind of a drum roll, but it's me using my calculator. But our staff of the week is an 8th grade teacher, and it is Mrs. Wilson. Congratulations to Mrs. Wilson.
That is.
That's all I have for you this week. Congratulations to all of the winners.
Boy.
Stop in and come see me as soon as you are finished watching this video. Have a great rest of your week and enjoy this warmer weather. Have a great day.
The highest honor a child can bestow is called champ.
I don't know what pog.
Start at like 8, 10.
Okay, everybody. Oh, hi, Brody.
Mr. Dayton, did you see what I submitted yesterday for the assignment?
Not yet. Why?
Oh, I submitted something. I don't quite remember what it was. I submitted something for the mouth, for the foot,
Okay.
and the beak,
Okay.
I think.
All right.
Oh,
All right. So here we are. Today we are going to review a little bit of the mussel, the freshwater mussel anatomy. So you guys need to get all your sheets out. Online, I will guide you through it again, but here is how we get there. Let me open one of my hundreds of tabs. No, I don't want that. Oh, here it is.
Well, are we taking?
All right, so here's where you need to go. You are in Thursday's folder. This is the online students. You are in Thursday, February 25th folder, which is in the week. All right, let's back up from the beginning because we have some people who are not necessarily that familiar with our Schoology. So here we are in Science 7, right? Scroll down to week 25. I can unpublish this now. Scroll down to week 25. You can either click this arrow to expand it or click on the actual link and it'll take you to it. So we're going to go to Thursday, February 25th. I'm going to click the arrow to expand it. These are all the things that are inside this folder. All right, here are the directions for today and the GPS, and we'll actually go over that. So that's important that we need to go over that. Here's our GPS for today. For science, every day we should be going through a GPS. What does your GPS do?
The GPS tell you where to go?
Yeah, it tells you where to go. It tells you how to get there to a destination. Yeah? Okay. So our goal, GPS stands for goal, process, and purpose, and then success criteria, GPS. Our goals today, those are our learning targets. Our learning targets for today are learning target 2 and learning target 8. Learning target 2 is develop and use models. That is this portion right here. This is a model or a diagram. We will use it today, all right? Then we also have learning target 8, which we use a lot. That is obtain, evaluate, and communicate information. Obtain means to get or gather. Evaluate, like analyze, judge, all right? And then communicate information, be able to tell that information to someone else, whether it be writing, speaking, presenting in a project, drawing, somehow communicating information, all right? Our process today is to explore the anatomy of a freshwater mussel by using a model. That's what we're about to do. Then towards the end of the hour, we will gather information about another type of mollusk, which is the cephalopod cuttlefish, okay? Cuttlefish, anyone ever heard of that? Okay, Ryan raised his hand. Okay, and if you haven't, that's okay. Because we're going to learn about it today. Cuttlefish is a mollusk, soft-bodied animal. And then we have purpose. Why? Why are we doing this? Who cares, right? Okay, why? So we can practice gaining information through a model, all right? I've said this before. Are you going to have to remember every single body part of a mollusk or a freshwater mussel in order to graduate middle school, in order to graduate high school, in order to graduate college? No, probably not. Not unless you're going into marine biology, then probably, yeah, if you would like to take that as your major, yeah. But, or, you know, want to be that to be your field. But that's why our learning targets are engineering practices, things, they're skills that you need to be able to do. Like developing and using a model, that's not only in science, that's in like all walks of life. You have to be able to look at a model. Not everything is written down for you or given to you in a video, okay? You need to be able to look at models and gain information from that and even develop your own to explain some. All right, and then this one I think is self-explanatory. You need to be able to communicate information in order to do anything, not just school related, but like life related. All right, that's speaking with each other is communicating information. All right, so that's why, that's our purpose for today. And then success criteria. How will you know you got it, or how will you know you're successful? I will know I'm successful when I have labeled the key body parts of a freshwater mussel, okay, and we'll go through that. And you can explain why the title of the video we're going to watch today is named King of Camouflage, okay? So that's our GPS for today. Now, back to the Thursday, February 25th folder. That was our directions. Here's the link to the Google Meet for those of you that are new, that you can always find it in today's folder. You can also always find it on the front page of Schoology. So I'm on my 7th grade science. Boom, first hour science Google Meet, 7:45 a.m. to 8:47 a.m. All right, school doesn't technically start until 7:50, but I put it at 7:45 so that you're encouraged to log in early and then we can get things going. But of course, we start at 7:50. Anyway, that's on the front page of Schoology and in this folder. So we're back in the Thursday folder. Here's second hour science. You don't have to worry about that. You guys will be on to bigger and brighter things in second hour. This was yesterday's review. So I'm going to move this here actually because this is what I want. All right, and this is what we're looking for, either the fillable freshwater mussel anatomy sheet or just the freshwater mussel anatomy sheet. Some of you might have printed it off. That's what these guys in person have. They have a printed off version. They're filling it out with paper and pencil. You could have done that at home, or you can fill it in using Cami. All right, so right here we open assignment with Cami. I'll again show that. You might have to wait a little bit for it to pop up. This button says open assignment with Cami. What Cami allows you to do is type on a PDF. So PDF, I don't even know what PDF stands for. Whatever. Something format. PDF. Printed document format? I don't know. Anyway, but it allows you, it's a tool that the school has that allows us to type on this and edit it out. All right. Really nice tool, actually. Helpful for taking notes, just labeling things, making things nice and neat. So that's how you can fill it out if you so choose. I would highly encourage that. You can also use like the paint tool or the drawing tool to mark it up, which I'm going to do right now because the A is cut off. All right. Yes, sir.
PDF means portable document format.
Portable document format. I knew it was format. Thank you, Zach.
Oh,
There you go. So what I just did was draw an A right there. This is an arrow pointing outwards. Now, the people that were here on Tuesday probably have most of this filled in. Yes? Yep. Okay, good. So we're going to quickly review. We're going to go A through M to start. I'm going to start typing it up because I'm faster at typing than I am writing and explaining about it. A, okay, is pointing at this ball of flesh right here. It's actually the posterior adductor muscle. Posterior adductor muscle. So when you see adductor muscle, you see add in there, and add should tell you that it adds strength, okay? And what does it do, Zach? Vaughn?
stay shut.
Yeah, it helps the shell to stay shut. So I'm going to try to, oh no, I didn't want to do that. Okay, I want a new text box, and I'm going to put text box, red. I'm going to put it in 12. Helps shell to open and close. That's A, all right? So that's there. B is pointing at a structure directly next to it. Okay. And it is involved in reproduction. It is the testes. Okay. The testes. Right. What does that hold in there? It holds sperm. Oh, no, I keep screwing this up. Now I need to make a new text box, Mr. Dayton. Okay. Red 12. Testes holds sperm. Oops. And glochidia. Glochidia. Holds the sperm and glochidia. And this is getting hard for you to read. So I'm going to do this. All right. It's involved in reproduction. The glochidia are the larvae of the freshwater mussel. Larvae are the babies, right? Okay, and they are expelled out into the water. They free swim around for a little bit. They attach to what? Yeah, go ahead, Parker.
Gills.
Yeah, the gills of what?
Maybe a fish.
Yeah, a fish. All right. So they have to attach the gills of a fish. They're a parasite for a short time in their life so that they can feed off of what that fish eats. And then they get too heavy. Once they do that, they fall to the floor of the lake or whatever, the river, and become adult mussels. All right. I'm going to just put reproduction up here because that's what the testes are involved in. Cool. C is pointing at this fin-like strand along the edge of the shell. And what that is the ligament. The ligament. And what does that do, Ryan?
What does it do?
Yes.
It helps lock shells together.
Yep, it helps lock the shells together. Okay, helps lock the shells together in cooperation, I guess I could say, with the posterior adductor muscle and down here the anterior adductor muscle. So I'm actually going down to H. Yes, I know, I forgot. Oops, this should stay red. Red. Okay, so I'm going down to H. H, if you look at A and you also look at H down here, they look very similar. That's because they're essentially the same ball of flesh. They're just located in different parts of the body, okay? So H is the anterior adductor muscle. This means it's located toward the front of the muscle. And it is involved, oops, I'm going to Control C. I'm going to, it does the same thing that the posterior does. That helps the shells to open and close. And I can make this a little big. Oop, maybe not. 14. There you go. Okay, so we've got a decent portion of this done so far. Letter D is pointing at this thing that kind of looks like, oh, I don't know, it looks like a musical note or a staff or something. But what it is the digestive tract. Digestive tract. And what the digestive tract does is, yep, you guessed it, it digests food. Okay, digestive tract is letter D. T-R-A-C-T is how you spell that. And then for the function in red, I'm putting digest food. Bingo, bango. Pretty easy, right? Letter E is pointing at not a structure that's inside the shell, but outside the shell. What is that, Ryan?
The beak.
The beak, okay. Oops, I keep screwing that up. E is the beak, okay. And no, the beak is not used to like peck and eat corn off the ground or grain. Okay, what is it for, Parker?
It provides extra strength.
Yeah, it provides extra strength, or just strength if you'd like to just put that, that's fine as well. What it is a pretty thick part of the mussel shell. And if you've ever picked up a mussel, a clam, essentially these are interchangeable words, you guys, mussel and clam. All right, so I'm gonna go to this side of it. If you've ever picked up a clam, you probably notice that it's not like a perfect oval a lot of the times, right? It's got some like dents in it and stuff like that. This is the beak, otherwise known as the umbo, and it's really, really thick and hard, right? Whereas some parts of the shell, you can kind of tell are thinner and not nearly as strong. So that's the beak. It's pointing at this like hump-like structure right there. Letter F. Yeah, I got to make sure I'm pointing at the right thing. Let's make it text box. Let's make it blue. Letter F is next to the beak, and it's the teeth. Okay, the teeth are not involved in eating though. Okay, they don't have teeth like you or I have teeth to grind up our food. Mussels have teeth that do what, Parker?
Lock the shell in place.
Yeah, so they also lock shell in place. All right, so what I want you to think about, and I'll show this to my online students using, undo. Okay, what I want you to think about is the teeth of gears. Okay, so gears like in clocks or like any big machinery, right? They have these teeth on the edges of them, and what they can do is lock together, right? Yes, you guys see what I mean when I say teeth? So these mussels have them. They have teeth on both sides of their shell. So right here, they'll have these teeth that lock together and make it even harder. What's that? Yeah, just like that. Yep. What's that?
When the gears turn around and be like.
Yep. So like when gears, when the gears, they like turn each other using those teeth. But if they're stopped, they would be like locked together like this. Yeah, for sure. Okay, cool. All right, so that's what the teeth do. Not have anything to do with eating. And then we're on to G. Okay, G. G is the mouth. Sorry. Yes, excuse me. G is the mouth. I wanted to make sure I was looking at the right thing. So G is pointing at this thing right here. So yeah, even though the mouth and the teeth are next to each other, they do not have anything to do with the same function. They have different functions. The mouth actually is used to ingest food. And ingest food is a fancy way of saying like take in or eat. So mouth is ingest food. Okay, mouth is ingest food. And we've made it, we've completed the right side of this. We're moving on to I. I looks like a big tongue, right? It's not a tongue, even though that would make sense. Not really. I mean, it would kind of go with our theme of teeth, mouth, beak, tongue. No, it's actually the foot, and part of the reason why, part of the reason why they're named, you know, their pod is in their name is because of this foot, right? And what does the foot do? The foot allows it to move and grip in sand, okay? Allows the mussel to move and grip in sand. Okay, did I show you guys the video of that?
Yes.
Yeah, with the tongue sticking out. Okay, not the tongue, but the foot. It looks like a tongue almost, right? It's sticking it out of its shell, but that is its foot, and that's the only thing that it uses to like move. Obviously, they don't move a lot during their life. They would rather just sit in the mud, be safe, suck in all that water, eat the plankton that comes with it, and be on their merry way. Sometimes they have to move though, okay? And they use this foot to do so. J is pointing at the inside like layer of the shell. It's not even really like a organ. Well, I guess it is. But it's the mantle, okay? That's the inside layer of the shell. And what that does is actually form the shell and protect organs. This is a membrane that makes the shell and protects organs. Organs being, you know, the body parts. Let's go to make it there. Makes the shell and protects organs. All right, then we're going to K. Zach, read. What is K?
K is the gill.
Yeah, K is the gills. Okay, so gills are how this freshwater mussel breathes. They use it for respiration. Respiration is a fancy word for breathing. Yeah, so takes in O2, releases. I don't know if I want that to be my definition. I had a better definition. I think I'm just going to put respiration. Yeah, because it does do that. And that, thank you for bringing that to my attention. So respiration is, like I said, breathing. Oxygen and carbon dioxide are exchanged. They must take in oxygen and release carbon dioxide, okay? But this also, the gills are also used in food gathering or capturing, okay? You might think that's odd. Did I spell captures wrong? Yeah. But here's what happens. Go ahead, Parker. Did you have something?
Oh, I have it for L.
Okay, we'll get the, I'll call on you in just a second. We're talking about gills for now. So you, or humans, or land-dwelling animals typically have lungs, right? Lungs for respiration. This water-dwelling aquatic mollusk does not have lungs. It has gills, like a fish. So the gills are used to gather oxygen and in exchange release carbon dioxide, just like you do. You take in oxygen, you release carbon dioxide. But they also use gills to capture food. And that seems odd, right? Because you don't use your lungs to capture food, do you? No, okay? So what happens here? L, well, what they do is they take in water, okay? And in that water is the food that they eat. They eat microscopic organisms such as plankton, right? And what needs to happen is it directly hits the gills. On the gills are like thousands and hundreds and, you know, a lot of hair-like structures called cilia and also a slime. They have a slime on the gills. And what that slime does and the cilia do is they move together to move those plankton and stick to the gills, okay? Once they stick to the gills, they're slid down. So if you watch my arrow, they slide down those gills to this mouth, right? So that's why the gill is used in food capturing. Captures the food, slides and beats the food all the way down to the mouth, where it's then into the digestive tract. Okay, so there you have it. Their lungs, excuse me, their gills are used in food capture as well. All right, Parker, you said you had this one. What do you got for L?
I have incurrent siphon.
Yes.
And it takes in oxygen sperm.
Yeah. The incurrent siphon takes in the good stuff, the stuff that it needs. Okay, incurrent siphon. You can see the water. That's where things come in and it takes, ooh, I don't want it to look like that. Let's figure it out. And let's make it smaller. Takes in oxygen, food, sperm. Anything that comes in through the incurrent siphon. Anything that it needs or wants comes in through the incurrent siphon. So it can take in oxygen to breathe, food to eat, sperm to reproduce, all the things that it needs, right? If L is the incurrent siphon, things are coming in. M is the excurrent siphon. Sorry, I stole your thunder there. The excurrent siphon. And that's where things are exit or go out or are expelled, if you want to think about it that way. Oh, this is there. Okay, M is the excurrent siphon. And we can put expels waste, CO2. What else do we have? Anything else?
Sperm.
Sperm, yeah. So it needs to expel that sperm so that another clam can take in that sperm and reproduce. They reproduce sexually, meaning they have two parents. So we've gone through every one of these. Quick little review. Nice, right? Nice. All right. Let's move on. We don't have to do this right here because it's right here on the second page. You see this? Okay, all of it is labeled for you. So if you were to take a look at this, it's just turned sideways. Okay, hinge, that would be S, or sorry, T. No, let me look. We went up to M. Here's N-O, P-Q-R-S-T-U-V. So,
Oh, it would be T.
yeah. Here's T, here's S. I'm drawing this sideways. Okay, cool. And anyway, yeah. If you go down to the next page, all of them are labeled. Do you see that? You just have to flip it sideways. Yeah, makes sense? Or no? All right. So I will actually label it here. Hinge is S. I gotta make sure I'm doing this. Oh, sorry, that was wrong. Hinge is T.
The beak is wrong.
The beak is S. Dorsal, this just means the dorsal view. All right, we're looking at the back side of a clam. Then we have U right here, that's the posterior ridge. Gotta make sure my U and my V look different. My V is the sulcus. Just pointing at like another ridge. We have two pustules in there. That's R. And then we had S already done. Cool. All right, then we're looking at the posterior and the interdentum view of this. We're looking at the inside of the clam, but without any of the organs in there. So we're just looking at one inside of the shell, all right? So lateral teeth are N. We have muscle scars are O. I suppose you could be typing this too. I didn't even think about this. And this is ventral side too. We're looking at the belly side of the clam, kind of, but the inside of it. And then we have the paleo line, which is the P. So you guys can be labeling this too. I would be labeling it. And then finally, Q is the pseudocardinal. It's the pseudocardinal teeth. That is Q. Anterior is this way. So that's towards the head. Tip doesn't have a head. It's towards the front, or what is known as front. And then posterior is that way in both cases. Okay? So everybody should be on this page, have these letters labeled. I'll let you do that. All right, and then here we go. So we have our hinge. Think of a door hinge, all right? It helps open and close the shell. It helps lock the shells together. That's T. S is the beak. We already talked about that, right? On the first page, that provides strength. Very strong part of the shell, okay? Here's a posterior ridge. Now a ridge is like just something where it comes to a point a little bit, makes a little ridge. It's not completely flat or smooth. And that also provides strength. Zach, are you raising your hand? Oh, okay, I thought you. So it's kind of hard to see here. Maybe it's easier to see on your sheet. But there's a little bit of a bump there, and that's that ridge, okay? The sulcus, basically an extension of that ridge, but what it does is it allows it to grip in the sand and the mud. Okay, I'll let you guys catch up. Yes, sir. Actually, yeah, I guess you can go. Okay. All right. I'm going to show you a better picture of it. Okay. Just for now. Actually, gosh, this seems so like not bright. Maybe I need it fixed. Okay. So the sulcus, there you can see, just pointing at that ridge basically, and helps it to grip in the sand and the mud. Okay. The next thing we're going to talk about are the pustules. Okay. The pustules also provide strength. So, I mean, basically we're looking at a shell, right? A lot of the purpose of the shell is to be strong and grip in sand and mud. So, simple life for a shell, right? They're basically pustules. So, like, if you ever, at some point, ever get zits, okay, or something on your body that resembles a zit, that's sort of like a pustule, and that's kind of what these look like on clams. Like the bumpy part of a clam you may run into, okay, that's the pustules right there. So you can see these are kind of raised. They have some bumps. That's what we're looking at there. So what they do, you can tell how that would provide some grip in the sand, right, as opposed to just being smooth. And of course, it's a little bit of a buildup, so it's stronger. Okay. So we're done with the dorsal view. Let's look at the interdentum view. We have lateral teeth. Okay, we talked about the teeth already. They help lock the shells together. Spell lock correctly. All right. And the pseudocardinal teeth are the same thing. I want to move this actually. Sorry. I'm erasing the cue. Don't lose your mind over it. I want to draw. Pseudocardinal teeth are a cue. And they also, let me just help lock the shells together. That's what the teeth do. They don't eat. Okay, muscle scars. Okay, I had a nice picture of that. The muscle scars are just that. That's basically where the muscles, remember those anterior and posterior adductor muscles that we talked about? That is where those muscles sat in there, and they make a nice kind of like pocket for them. And that's where a scar is formed, all right? And the muscle sits in there, and it allows it to help lock it together as well. So that's what you're looking at. Again, we're looking at the inside of the shell. So the muscle scars, they also help lock the valves together. Okay, and the last thing is the paleo line. The paleo line is just that. It's a line, and it's very hard to see here. But it's kind of like a groove. And that's where the mantle is attached to the shell, okay? So it kind of marks, it's a line or groove that marks where the mantle attaches. So that mantle is resting there, and it has to attach to the shell at some point. And that's that. Oops. All right, paleo line. It's just that. It's a line, and it's kind of hard to see there. But let me look at it on Google Images. Sometimes can be your best friend, right? So if I'm looking at, oh, here we go. It's still hard to see there. Yeah, here's a good one. So this is actually a good view of the shell, what's all together, right? Here's our beak, pseudocardinal teeth, lateral teeth. This one is backwards of what we had, so their anterior end and posterior ends are flipped. Here's the beak cavity. Here's the muscle scars. The paleo line is right here. Okay, you can kind of, yeah. Okay, I'll give you a couple more minutes, but not too long, because we got to get into King of Camouflage to get this down. While you're doing that, what I would advise is for you to write these down in your notebook, make some flashcards. All right. I've shown my class how to make flashcards. You can also go on to Quizlet and make flashcards about the functions and the body parts, right? Not a bad idea whatsoever. Okay. Once you get into the groove, does not take very long. Okay. Online students, is everybody with me? I guess say something if you're not with me. All right. This